there was this TikTok video of this girl, and she was in Hawaii. Like she was in Hawaii, and she said to her mom, she was like, "Mom, the queen died." And she was like, "Who, Beyonce?" And she was talking about Queen Elizabeth.
Right, yeah.
That's what she was talking about. But mom, you know, the Hawaiian sister,
some
she
people
thinking like, "Oh, you talking about Beyonce?"
Right, some people think Beyonce, right. So yeah, so for her, the larger than life mystique may actually be her positive, her superpower. If she comes down, people are gonna be like it may be a negative. What's up, y'all? Harco's here with the Music Making Sense podcast, and with me as always is the dapper Dan Mohawk man with the plan himself, living in always sunny Seattle, Washington, KP. How the hell you doing today, KP?
Word. Yeah, it's pretty wet over here.
Yeah.
How's it over there in the good old state of Indiana?
Doing pretty good, man. It's starting to transition out of winter and go into spring, so we're getting like the off and on like 60-degree days and stuff like that, like today was and stuff. So pretty positive, man. It was a nice sunny day for about half the day, so it was nice. Yesterday was pretty sunny all day as well too. So the sunny days, man. Dude, I'm a creature of the sun, man. That shit fucking makes you feel good inside. I don't know what it is, but
it does.
But yeah, so just jumping into it today, we actually wanted to go over a video that KP had brought up to my attention and stuff. It's a pretty good video. I checked it out today as well too, that No Labels Necessary did on branding, and they were talking about branding in the form of Beyonce, but they were talking about it like in general as well too. And you know, just like off top, like branding is key in anything that you want to do, no matter what your business is, you know. And like, for instance, here at Music Making Sense podcast, our brand is, we discuss music marketing, you know, tactics and everything like that, news and everything that's going on with music marketing. We discuss that. We figure out ways that, you know, people can succeed and different ways to try to do different things in the form of branding and marketing and content and everything like that. Everything that has to do with music marketing, because it's called Music Making Sense podcast, is where you're trying to turn your music into making sense, not just money sense, but also reasoning sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's our brand over here. That's what we always come in here and talk about, is music branding, getting that shit out there, trying to turn that hobby into a jobby and making it keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? KP likes when I say that one. But, you know, that's what we're trying to do and stuff. And so so that's what we try to do. And then when we are talking with artists, which we just did an artist spotlight, our first ever artist spotlight with R&B artist Royalty, and we were going over different aspects with her on her stuff, and she's a very, very unique person. The video is out before this video comes out, so on all the platforms and everything, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. But she's a very, very unique person, and we were discussing different ways that she can showcase that uniqueness, because she's literally like, anything I need to do, I'll build it from scratch type of person. And it's, you know, I think that's dope 100% myself, because it's just in the world that we live in today of prepackaged and pre-made, you know, everything. Seeing people, they're just like, no matter what it is, they're just building it from scratch. It just, I don't know. Like, I just personally, I love that shit. You know, that's just my personal thing. But yeah, so the video, they were talking about, they were actually reacting to another video where somebody was talking about how Beyonce doesn't do a whole lot of the branding things that, for instance, Rihanna does. And then also, too, that kind of plays into the fact that when she launches different products and stuff like that, it doesn't pop as well as it should for somebody like Beyonce. However, with Rihanna, it pops. You know, it tends to go, even though Rihanna's not quite at the Beyonce level. And what they were saying is that, you know, it's because of the way that she interacts with her fans. and then the way that, that people get out there and stuff. And I thought it was admirable that they weren't 100% shitting on Beyonce for not getting out and not doing small events and stuff. They said that it would go good, but they understand why she doesn't want to, because, or she doesn't in general, maybe not want, want may not be the good word, but she doesn't do it because she's at the tippy top and doesn't feel like she needs to, or something like that, So like I thought it was a really, really good video, just because they were discussing the different ways that you can connect with your fans, and how Corey even made a good point about how the element of the larger than life celebrity. I've heard him say this multiple times too. The larger than life celebrity is something that people just don't have fascination for anymore. They want that realism and stuff like that. And so they made the correlation where anytime you see, like, the only time you ever see Beyonce out, she's done up and it's a big spectacle. You never see her just out randomly. However, in the case of Rihanna, you'll see her out and about at like a gas station or something, something like everyday people type of shit. She'll be looking good, but she may be dressed down a little bit, but still dressed up, if that makes sense. Stuff like that. So whenever she launches her stuff, it pops because she has that connection with her fan base as like an everyday person. And I just thought that was a really, really good point to make. They made other points, but I felt personally that was my big takeaway, is that the stronger of connection that you build with your fan base, whenever you introduce something to them, the more it will pop without you even really having to be pushy. You just do it. Did you feel about the same way on that, KP?
Yeah, and actually, I was thinking about two people
Mm-hmm.
as you were speaking about Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and who else was I just thinking about?
All right. I just wanted to come in here and let every single one of y'all who love raw, real underground hip hop know about a dope show I found over on YouTube. And they're exclusively on YouTube as well, too. All right. It's called Hip Hop Radar Underground. Make sure you go check them out. They got live Friday shows every single Friday, showcasing artists from all across the world, underground, raw, real hip hop. And if you're an artist, you can actually go and submit your music there too and get it popping on that show. It's a great place to go and network with everybody as well too. Everybody that watches that show and tunes in live are raw, real hip hop fans. All right. So it's a great place to find some real lovers of your music. And like I said, if you love listening to dope new music, make sure you go check them out. They also offer artist spotlight interviews as well too. So if you're an artist, you want a spotlight, go ahead and hit them up over there. Me and KP were just previously on there, and we had a dope interview, sat down with the host himself, Sack Juggalo, and had a great conversation. It was a great opportunity. So I just wanted to cut this message right here for every single one of y'all who love raw, real hip hop, or you're an artist. Make sure you go check out Hip Hop Radar Underground over on YouTube. You can also follow them over on IG. Make sure you go check them out. All right, let's get back to the show.
Taylor and you said Rihanna.
Yeah, I said Rihanna and Beyonce. I was comparing those two.
Mm-hmm.
I know they also in the video they also talked about Kanye there briefly. They didn't talk about Taylor Swift, but they talked about how Kanye, he really emboldened the brands that he was doing. Like, you saw him always wearing Yeezys and stuff like that. So he really is like, hey, I wear this too. You should as well.
Right. But what I was going to say was more so with her, it's the connection. Like, I was looking at with Taylor Swift, her going to the Chiefs game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And connecting with the fans. Now, in the past, Beyonce has gone to basketball games.
A lot. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a connection that they did have with her. Now, when she was out for a bit, when she first started coming out, yeah, she did start doing that. But I think it was a lot of the ridicule and things like that she was going through, and people just attacking her from different angles and stances that she took, and she just decided to go private and not put anything out until like recently, when she made her appearance at the cameo appearance at the Super Bowl, and then comes out with the two country soul songs, 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em. Right. Now the thing is, what's crazy is that with her putting out those songs, there are a lot of people who are jumping on the bandwagon. And I was watching Shannon Sharp, who spoke about this on shout out to Shannon and Chad Ochocinco Johnson. They were speaking this on Nightcap, and he stated that Taylor Swift is moving the needle more so than Beyonce right now, because of her going to the Kansas City Chiefs games, dating Travis Kelce, and just being out there, and just her showcasing the spirit and just love and the support for the game, and jumping up and down, showing like, oh my God, my boyfriend is fucking killing it. He's catching touchdowns, and her cheering and being like, showing that, right, oh my God, they're in overtime, and right, the anticipation,
being
so
the
it's
every
like
girl,
being the every girl, like right there, right. And it's funny, as we were talking about brand archetypes. Now, when you think about it, Beyonce has gotten away from being the everyday, the every girl, every woman type. She has. Yeah. And it's because of the fact that she was just able to do it in a way where she became more of a private person, and decided to just take it to a different level. Now, there's been some things said, but I don't know if you ever heard of Jaguar Wright, but she's a vocalist back in the 90s, back in the early late 90s, early 2000s. And there's some things that she said, but I think
some
also
rumors.
Well, I mean, it's been some, I won't say rumors, I'll just say that there's some allegations. She's just saying some things, and
sometimes people talk, sometimes it's legit. You never know until it all crumbles.
Right, you never know, right? Yeah. So, but the thing is, I think with Beyonce dealing with that, and she also speaks through her music, like she's spoken about their relationship, right? And seeing her sister and Jay-Z on the elevator, and Solange just, is pretty much assaulting Jay-Z. Right. And so that sort of thing. So seeing that, and then I think the breakup of Destiny's Child as well, and just being accused of stealing songwriting and things like that. She's like, you know what? And women, the one thing I noticed with women is that when things like that start happening, except for there's been a couple women who've gone out and just started just pretty much crazy, saying a lot of stuff, right? And she decided, I'm just gonna back out and not say anything. So
and as a recluse myself, I kind of respect that. The fact that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna do like a tour here and there or whatever. Still be Beyonce, put out some shit, but I'm just gonna get back here and live my life for me. Do what I want, live with my family, and everything like that. I mean, she got two young kids. I know she got one, but I think she got two, right?
Yeah, two.
Yeah, so like two younger kids. Maybe she was like, you know what, we got money, we're good. I'm just gonna just put a little gas on the fire every once in a while, but I just want to enjoy my life, be here, do this. And Brandman Sean, he even said something about that, about trying to be the every woman, you know what I'm saying? But like she could, with the was it like the
hair salon,
the hair salon line.
Going to hair salons, like doing a little tour.
She could go to hair salons, or she could be at home doing Blue Ivy's hair or something like that. If she wanted to put Blue Ivy in the in the light like that, which he said that's completely their choice, obviously. But she could be maybe get her sister or something. You know what I'm saying? Like she could be doing some stuff like that to be like, yeah, look, I'm just like everybody else. I do my friend or my sister or my cousin's hair as well too, or my daughter's hair or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I do that kind of shit too, even though I'm not larger than life. I'm just like y'all, you know what I'm saying? And you're right with the Taylor Swift, she builds that deep connection with her fans, like the girl next door type shit. It's like, oh yeah, I just saw Taylor over there, type of thing.
But here's the thing we have to consider as well. Her fan base. Beyonce's fan base are a lot of strong Black women who feels that she is the queen. There's a lot of women of color who feel she is a queen, because it was funny.
So her being larger than life is a positive.
Yeah, because dude, it was funny. It's funny. This was so weird. You're right, because there was a moment. There was this TikTok video of this girl, and she was in Hawaii. Like she was in Hawaii, and she said to her mom, she was like, "Mom, the queen died," and she was like, "Who? Beyonce?" And she was talking about Queen Elizabeth.
Right, yeah.
That's what she was talking about. But mom, the Hawaiian sister,
some
she
people
thinking like, oh, you talking about Beyonce?
Right, some people named Beyonce, right. So yeah, so for her, the larger than life mystique may actually be her positive, her superpower. If she comes down, people are gonna be like it may be a negative, and so like, Sean and them, they were giving her mad props. They weren't being disrespectful to her,
No, they weren't. They weren't.
They were saying, hey, look, when she launches products, they don't go quite as well statistically like when some other people like Taylor or Rihanna do. You know what I'm saying? They were mainly, didn't say Taylor at all. They were talking about Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? And so they were saying, well,
can I say why though?
It's something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can tell you, I can tell you exactly why. She's a performer. She is a true performer. Because that persona that she puts out when she hits the stage, she doesn't even need to have an opening act.
Right. It's just her. That's it. Done.
Period. Yeah. Just her.
Yeah. They mentioned
she gets, and here's the thing. I get that Taylor Swift is a phenomenal performer when she gets out there on stage. She's electrifying.
Right, Rihanna as well.
But, Rihanna ain't as electrifying.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, and I'm gonna keep it 100. No.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I think with Taylor, Taylor is given more of the everyday, given more of the every girl, whereas honestly, Beyonce is no longer that. She's a ruler.
Right.
She's a ruler.
That makes
sense.
And
that's what it is. She's a ruler.
Yeah, she's built her way up to that.
She's built her way up to that point.
And Taylor just still keeps it where she started. Yeah.
Yeah, she just keeps it where it started. She has the connectivity. But I'm going to have to say this to Shannon Sharpe. If you ever listen to our podcast, my brother, I love you. You are I think you are the true pioneer conversationalist when it comes to social media today. Truly, I think he is. The way he has moved the needle. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe as well, because I think there's something that he's done that is so unique, from being a Hall of Famer to now becoming one of the biggest personalities on social media today.
Yeah, just by sitting down and having conversations with people and stuff. Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Conversation style stuff goes really well, especially
if it does, because it's so authentic, right?
Yeah,
you can hold it right, because but here's the thing. I gotta say this to him, my friend, and he said this on Nightcap. I get where you're coming from as far as the moving the needle, but what I think he was saying is, what I think Shannon Sharpe is trying to say is, Taylor Swift does have a stronger connectivity as far as that everyday girl type of feel, but Beyonce has elevated to the point where she's a ruler.
Well,
And that's the difference.
Yeah, and honestly,
there's a big difference.
Yeah, and honestly, too, like trying to compare those two is like apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think
same thing.
Yeah, and so that's why I think that Brandman kept saying comparing to Rihanna, because Rihanna would be more of a different type of apple than Beyonce, but they're still apples type of, you know what I'm saying? Like if that
got Honey Crisp with Honey Crisp with a red,
or whatever, Gala or whatever, right?
Fiji,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're in the same lane, because they both have a similar vibe within a sphere. You know what I'm saying? You know, it may be a wide sphere, right? But you know, like what you just said, like Taylor has built a brand of just being over here, the everyday girl, writing these songs about breakups, everything like that, being able to have that connectivity. And Beyonce has always built this larger than life personality. And yeah, like Sean was saying as well too, is that like Beyonce could do like a 250 person little get together, little private show, meet and greet type thing. But like her fans are so used to the big extravaganza every time they see her that it would be weird. Like it would be so off brand, you know? And so like, you know, that's one of the things that I took away as well too, is that when you build a brand, you need to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you build a brand and it's you truly, it'll be easy to stick with. You know, so like that's probably why Beyonce never tried to do anything like that, really, in general. Right? All right, y'all. I just want to hop in here again real quick. Yes, I know again, but you know what? We rock with a lot of people here, and a lot of people rock with us here at Music Making Sense Podcast. So I got to tell you about all these great people, all right? And this one right here, right now, is Mad K Studios, all right? Go check them out, madkstudios.com. Mad K is a dope artist, man. This guy can draw or paint almost anything, okay? He really, really specializes in, like, portrait arts for memorialization of your favorite car or a family member or a loved one or something like that. All right. Full commission artwork, no copy and paste shit or nothing like that. All right. Custom designs. If you want it, make sure you go hit up madkstudios.com for your custom art piece. And you can even go check out some of the pieces that he's done for freelance and stuff like that. And you can also get it on a shirt. He's got coffee mugs and mouse pads and all kinds of other decorative pieces of artwork that you can go and check out as well too. So if you're a connoisseur of art, you're looking for a nice piece of knickknack or something like that around the house, or if you want a custom artwork designed for a loved one or something that's cherished in your life that you want memorialized in an actual painting, a real painting, make sure you go check out madkstudios.com. Let them know Harco's over at Music Making Sense Podcast sent you. All right, let's get back to the show.
I mean, she tried to do the Darion. She had the Darion jeans and stuff like that. And the thing was that she sold those. And actually, I think that was one of her best endeavors was try. Yeah, and it's not really doing as well. Even with her being a record label owner. Mm-hmm. It's just she's too strong of a performer.
Right. Yeah.
Way too strong of a performer.
That's just where she is then, you know, and that's where she succeeds, which is positive, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's like Michael Jackson. Like if anybody, like everybody talks about when I hear this thing where you could compare Taylor Swift to Michael Jackson, I can honestly say the one person who I think that you could compare to Michael Jackson, where she's on they're on that level of royalty, truthfully, as a performer, is Beyonce.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that most definitely because, yeah, she does go all out and everything like that. It is a spectacle, and Michael would always make a spectacle as well, too.
Hard.
Yeah. And you know what?
Fucking hard.
I mean, she lives well off of it, you know, so she's perfected her craft and she is what she is. But I think, you know, for whatever reason, the person that initially made the video that No Labels Necessary reacted to, they made it for some reason. I don't know what their motives were. Sean didn't really go into that stuff like that, but you know, them bringing it up and trying to say, oh, well, you know, she's not like Rihanna. She doesn't have that connectivity. She can't sell like Rihanna and stuff. It's like, okay, but like it's two totally different things. Like Rihanna has built a different brand. Like, yeah, they're in the same kind of sphere, but it's a different brand than what Beyonce has because of the performance, because of all this
She can
stuff.
sell a product.
Yeah.
See, Rihanna can sell a product. Okay, yeah, fine.
Right.
But also you have to think about, and not just when you think about it, why hasn't Mary J. Blige come out with the boots yet? Because she doesn't focus on product. She focuses on performance.
Right. Yeah.
And she just wants, and when she does, she rocks. She likes to rock her style, her signature style on stage, and to where people want that, they want that look.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
and two, when it comes to, the way when you think about with their audience, which are Black women, they're looking at this sister like, okay, yeah, this sister is up here. They got that, you know what I'm saying? They're giving her that pedestal because because the way Black women have been looked at throughout Hollywood and throughout the industry. So they're going to be like, they're going to give her they're going to give her a strong pedestal on that platform.
Right.
Right.
And then
they're going to give her that uplifting. So so it's going to be one of those things. That's what you're going to end up seeing.
Yeah. And some people build a brand as being a fashion icon, and some people are an entertainment icon, and some people, like, everybody's got their own iconic thing, you know? Whereas, you know, like Kanye is a fashion dude way more than Jay-Z is, even though Jay-Z started in the fashion stuff before Kanye, you know, and stuff like that, you know? So that is, you know, that it just kind of, it's like how you build yourself, you know. Kanye, since he started, was always talking about fashion shit and stuff like that. And, you know, Jay-Z was on a whole different level, you know. Yeah, he had his own style with it, and he was always, you know, was talking about different things, but not on the same level. And so, like, I just think that's like it's a case study. It's like, you know, you can compare these people. You can compare Beyonce to Rihanna or Mary J. Blige, or, you know, anybody, pick a name, you know, Michael Jackson to Taylor Swift or whatever you want to do. They all have their different brand that they've reached the top of, or close to the top of, you know. And that is the key right there, is to find your brand, maybe through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pick it immediately, but, you know, find some of your strengths, one or two, maybe even three of them, and then grow from there. Exactly.
Yeah, growth. Well, I think growth is one of those things that, and I'm not saying grow from there. What I'm saying is that growth is one of those things that I feel will help you understand your brand more than anything. Like because it also experience, right? And I'm saying that from experience, that being that I know how I am when it comes to certain things I do in this industry, and when it comes to the business aspects, right? So having the experience that I have, it gives me a better idea of what those brand archetypes are and who I want to target, where I want to target, how I want and even how I want to target my brand. Right. What am I doing with it? How am I what type of clothes am I wearing? What colors I'm representing? Setups, stage presence, all those things, right? Those things truly do matter. And when you're marketing that, you know, you got to look at it like, if you're, and just say this, if you're in a band, right? The one thing that you want to do is, I know people say that you know, people want to get away from the larger than life persona, but when it comes to rock and metal,
you kind of have to have it.
You have to do it. Like, you got to be a little bit larger than life, because people want the rock star.
Yeah.
No matter what. They want the metal god. They want the metal god and the rock star. Okay? Straight up, guys. You cannot be that type of, you can't walk in the, because people, you're going to be boring. They're not. That's why you notice today where a lot of bands are not today's bands aren't getting looked at or being like talked about or praised. Like, you only got like maybe Bad Omens, like you got Will Ramos, and Ronnie Radke, who are being talked about, and Vessel of Sleep Token, right? They're the only ones really being talked about. But people want, and even MJK was being talked about for a while when he came out doing the power punk thing with pop punk and power punk with Travis Barker, right? Travis Barker is still being talked about to this day because he's brought a rock star approach, OG rock star approach to the drums.
Yeah,
right?
and what's interesting is that
that's
he was
why you
one
have
of
to do
few
that.
drummers that popped more than the rest of the band. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I can't think of anybody else's name within Blink-182.
Well, Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus. I mean, I love those guys. I love the hell out of them.
But how many people, if you took a poll, how many people would be like, if you put all three of those names up there, how many people would say, you know, that any of those besides, you know,
Tom DeLonge has a I think Tom DeLonge with Angels and Airwaves was his second project that he did. That was a pretty popping project.
Yeah,
but yeah, well, you are right. But Travis just has that name recognition. Plus, he's able to get into, especially when he started doing the drumming with hip hop artists, and people started recognizing him with drumming and hip hop, and then just the speed he has with one kick drum, with a single kick pedal, right? Like, seeing that talent, they're just like, oh shit, well, let me, you know, and then him putting out an album with other hip hop artists, and that was just like, that was a killer project.
Right.
So yeah, the thing is, like, yeah, if you are in rock and metal, guys, you gotta be a rock star. And I think for jazz, if you are in jazz, like, if you want to be that jazz artist that really pops, the one thing you got to do is you got to be an innovator with your instrument. And like, you got to make that instrument speak to the people in a way where they're like, even if it's your voice, you got to really like, and you got to be able to break the rules, because the person who's actually became like an influence within jazz today, like today's modern jazz, is Jay Dilla, rest his soul. Because a lot of the masters, you know, the jazz masters, they ended up passing away, and a lot of the music went into the classroom environment. So it was mostly just the students who are still students of jazz who was taking it. But somebody has to be the one to, and Robert Glasper was one who did it, but because he broke the rules where he was able to bring jazz, and then he started listening to Dilla and just started playing Dilla tunes on his on piano, and then being a classically trained pianist as well. So classical jazz pianist trained, and so him being able to do that, and then you got Chris Daddy Dave, and the UK jazz was really starting to was doing some hot shit as well. But if for a jazz artist, yeah, you've got to be that rule breaker. Like, and the only way I would say, if you're going to truly understand the rule breaker of jazz, you got to go back to Miles Davis and John Coltrane and those pioneers of it, and then listen to your Jay Dilla as well. But yeah, because then it's like understanding the rules, breaking them, and then going there. Even like listening to somebody like Sun Ra and you know, artists like that. Like, yeah, really, that's what I think. And even Corey was talking about that in I think the first episode they had, where he said that he was talking about, you know, jazz or classical artists who are out there today. It's just, yeah, you have to be a rule breaker.
All right, y'all. I just want to take a quick break right here to tell you about something hot and spicy. And no, I'm not talking about that Latina thing that you saw on Tinder the other day. I'm talking about hot sauce. And not just any hot sauce, but Tennessee Hot Sauce Co. All right. I personally know the owner of Tennessee Hot Sauce Company, and I've seen him grow this company from just something that he would sell a few bottles at the local farmers market to something that can ship all across the United States now, all right? And you guys have a unique opportunity right now to save 20% by using the code MMCPOD when you check out on any order over at Tennessee Hot Sauce Company's website. All right, that's tnhotsauceco.com. Make sure y'all go check them out and use the code MMCPOD over at checkout and save 20%. You guys got to check this out. All right, they have all kinds of great flavors. My personal favorite is poblano jalapeno. It has a mild kick to it because I'm a little bit of a bitch when it comes to spices, but it has great flavor. I put it on all kinds of stuff. I put it on steaks. I put it on burgers when I'm cooking them. I put it on tacos and enchiladas, stuff like that as well too. But I've tried many of these other flavors like the garlic habanero and the honey habanero, the blood orange ghost, and the pineapple habanero. Now, the pineapple habanero was one that really snuck up on me because it had a great sweet flavor of the pineapple, and it wasn't nothing overbearing, but it had a very good flavor to it. And then all of a sudden, boom! I got hit in the ass with a habanero, and I had to go grab some milk, all right? But these are some great flavors, and they have all kinds of different options. They have the collection, which has the full lineup of all 6 of their most popular sauces. They also have different subscription boxes. You have a 3-sauce option, a 4-sauce option, yearly and bi-yearly options available as well, too, for the boxes. Then you also have all kinds of other new flavors that they have that I've never tried yet. I actually got to get that shipment in here soon of the barrel-aged whiskey and the mustard dill scorpion. Those are 2 that look very interesting, and I want to try them out. One thing I did try is one of their new options that they have here, which is the poblano jalapeno beef jerky. But like I said, I love the poblano jalapeno sauce, and whenever I tried this jerky, no bullshit, I ate the whole bag before I can even sit down and shoot this promo right here, all right? And so luckily, I know the owner, like I said, so I got another bag on the way, but y'all gotta go check it out. And he also told me they got some more flavors coming out of the jerky as soon as they get operations up and running on that brand new venture right there, all right? So again, make sure y'all go over tnhotsauceco.com, use promo code MMCPOD at checkout and save 20% on your order. And on top of that, orders $50 and over are free shipping in the United States. So again, make sure you go check this out. Small batch, small brand, but powerful flavors. Tennessee Hot Sauce Company. Now, let's get back to the show. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, especially with the rock portion. I don't know as much about jazz like you do, but you know, I have a strong familiarity with rock and metal and stuff like that. And yeah, you have to be, well, like you got to be that character. You got to have the visual with it. It's a highly, a lot of music is highly visual, and that's one thing I see, like in the hip hop space, for instance. There, depending on what level you're at in hip hop, wherever you operate, you will see similar things where there will be an artist showcase in the one of the big cities or whatever in your state. And these artists will come out, and for an artist showcase, it's never any big artists. It's always small to medium sized artists and stuff like that. And when they come out and stuff like that, they'll be out there, and they'll, any video that you see, most of the time, it never has a crowd shown at all. You know what I'm saying? For a reason. But then they'll be up on social media, gassing it up, talking about how, it was a movie, and, what I'm saying, they went ape shit, and, it's a hell of a fucking thing, blah, 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 everything like that. Right. And then, of course, with the internet being the internet, you'll see, so this is something that happened recently in Indianapolis, right? So there was an artist showcase. Okay. Some people went down there, and I follow a decent amount of Indianapolis artists on my Facebook and stuff like that. So I see this, and okay, and they're always having beef. Like I got out of the Indianapolis circuit intentionally because it's all the soap operas combined with Jerry Springer on the worst day.
Oh
and
my gosh.
and it's just nonstop. Anytime something happens, there's always beef with everyone, and for no reason half the time, just because a lot of people just think that if they have like a scarcity mindset where they're like, if I'm not gaining the fans, somebody else is getting my fans. And it's like, people can listen to 50 different artists in one day, that, right? Like, they're not just
Right.
listening to only one artist a
Yeah.
day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like my wall where we would just grab a CD and take it out the house with us, and we would listen to the CD from the artist all day. And then obviously the ability came to make mixtapes, and then we would be able to mix it up with different songs from different
Right.
artists. But now, you know, it depends on how long you're listening to music throughout the day, on how many artists you can actually listen to in one day. But a lot of these people, when they're trying to, I understand it. When you're trying to grind and you're trying to get there, you want to try to capture everything that you can, and
Right.
if you see somebody else capturing or somebody else trying to get in your way, you get defensive. And I get it. It's a survival tactic. It's a kill or be killed type of situation. But
Facts.
things are so much bigger than that. And what's really crazy is that, like, I can sit there and I can tell people, I'm like, hey, stop worrying about Nap. All right. The whole world's out here for you. And they'll be like, no, man, that's what I was talking about is, we need to stop thinking about Nap and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, the next 6 posts, they're still bitching about the Nap beef between Nap and Fort Wayne or fucking Muncie or some shit like that, right? These are all cities in Indiana, for those of y'all who don't know, familiar with Indiana, right? But, like, these different cities and stuff like that don't hardly ever connect with each other, especially Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. That's like opposite sides of the state almost. And like, they're sitting there beefing, like, talking about, oh yeah, this garbage ass, there's like talking shit about each other and everything like that. And I'm just like, why? But then I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, because most of these artists make music for other artists. And you can hear it in their lyrics. They're like, oh yeah, I'm better than half these rappers and blah, blah, blah. They talk about other artists in their music. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just a stunt. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, and like, I understand like the Biggie versus Pac shit or something like that, where you're like one-on-one versus another artist. But these guys will be like, in general, all those other artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won't even have a one-on-one beef half the time with their shit. It's so minimally minded, as I like to say, right? They're mental midgets with a lot of the shit. And it boggles my mind, because it's so infectious of a fucking mind virus, right? As soon as it gets into their brain, trivial. They can't get, but it's a mind virus. As soon as it gets in their brain, they just can't stop until it's exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then as soon as everything goes away, give it a week or two, because this thing just happened like last weekend or whatever, right?
Right.
I think, you give it a week or two and it will go away. And then people will forget that thing even happened, right? Until the next thing, right? Until the Shrees Festival or until whatever. Like, yeah, whenever I had Hip Hop Hour for 4 years, right? It was a radio show style podcast. For those of y'all who don't know, I used to have from 2017 to 2021. And whenever I first started, the artists that I had were from my local area, like Indianapolis and surrounding areas and stuff like that. Those were the artists that I found on there. And then I started making connections with people that they knew, other artists that they knew, and then it started growing. And so then for a while, I branded myself as putting on for the greatest Indiana hip hop artists, right? Well, then I started making connections outside of Indiana. And so then I'm like, okay, from the United States, right? And then I started making connections in the UK, and I'm like, yo, these cats are fucking dope. Like, they're like raw with it. And I'm like, okay. And so then I was just like, around the world, right? And then that's when I finally broke the small-minded shit about king of the city or king of the state type of shit. And I'm just like, and so then I started showcasing artists from all over. I had artists from UK, Ireland, Belarus, Australia, you know what I'm saying? And then like a bunch of places, like most of them were in the United States or UK, but I'm saying like I had a little bit spread out. And, it was dope. But whenever I realized that, and it was from some podcasts I was listening to and stuff like that, where I started hearing statistics like, 3.5 billion people are on the internet and growing, and roughly about half of them have English as at least a second language, if not a first. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, 1.5 to 2 billion people are a potential market. Now, obviously, they all have different interests. Not everybody loves hip hop music, yada yada. But you got 1.5 billion people to market to. If you get 0.5% of that, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
and I'm like sitting there, I'm just like, 500 million people, or 1.5 billion people. There's no city on the planet that has anywhere near that. The biggest is like 7 million or something like that, right? And
yeah,
so I was sitting here trying to tell people, I'm like, yo, look, for instance, Indianapolis, right? It's like 3 million or something like that. I'm like, yo, you know how hard it's going to be for you to get 40,000 real fans out of only 3 million people? Like, statistically, it's going to be more difficult than if you try to get it out of 3.5 billion people. And so I started coming at it from that mindset and trying to tell people, they just don't want to they don't want to listen. I don't know. Some people just can't listen. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Everybody in due time will figure it out, or they won't, But whenever they are out there on their music pages talking this shit about other fucking cities and stuff like that, with all this beef and stuff, I'm sitting here thinking, you are making this your brand now. Why? Why are you having it be your brand? Are you a beef artist, or are you trying to fucking spread the vibes? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about one artist in particular. He's all about, his music is vibey and wavy and all that shit. It's all about the vibe and fucking ba-ba-da, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you go and you get on the same place you market your music, and you start talking all this shit about, oh, motherfuckers make music out in Muncie? I didn't even know Muncie had artists, blah, blah, blah. Shit like that. Well, your fans in California are going to be like, what the fuck is a Muncie? You know what I'm saying? They don't know that shit.
Right.
If you really are getting out there like that, and you're getting out beyond just your city, that technically he don't even fucking live in. We're not going to get into that, though. But if you're getting out beyond Nap, right, that you don't live in, dude, don't even live in Nap. But anyway, you're getting out beyond that, supposedly, and, tens of thousands of streams, listeners on Spotify and all that shit, then motherfuckers aren't going to care about some local beef. And that's not your brand. So stay on brand. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Beyonce beefing with some, California R&B artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's not her brand. She's larger than life. So when you're formulating your brands, and like KP said, you're gonna have to test a lot of things. It comes with experience and everything. Realize what doesn't work. Yeah, you may start getting a lot more engagement on social media, but it's not the right engagement that you want. You need to put out your music, be steady with it, and grind your ass off and not worry about this shit. If you have true beef with somebody, you handle that shit with them, or you delete them, right? Don't worry about putting that out there and stuff like that. That's just like a gripe that I just kind of, it popped up on my chest that I've been seeing on my Facebook feed, because I'm sitting here, I'm trying to network, I'm trying to help artists with their marketing and stuff like that. and whenever I see artists post something, if I can add some knowledge in there, especially if it's about music and music marketing, stuff like that, I try to throw my 2 cents in there and try to build that connection and give value. You know what I'm saying? But whenever I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm just seeing, I don't know if it was just today, the fucking alignment of planets and shit like that is all weird or whatever, but everybody was like so like morbidly depressed on their fucking social media today. It was like either depression or bitching. It was crazy. Like nobody was out there fucking like popping and moving like they have been the rest of the week so far. All right, y'all, let me take a quick break right here to tell you about something that's completely fucking ridiculous, okay? It's called horribledesigns.com. And I personally know the owner, and he's just as ridiculous as this whole fucking company is, okay? If you or someone you know loves stickers and mugs and shirts with crazy outlandish sayings on them that just are designed to catch people's attention out in public and get them to laugh and point and ask you, hey, where'd you get that t-shirt, or where'd you get that sticker when they see it on your car and stuff like that, y'all got to go check out horribledesigns.com. At horribledesigns.com, they have all kinds of ridiculous sayings on stickers and coffee mugs, t-shirts, vinyl stickers, magnets, and even mouse pads, okay? And I'm telling you, if you guys have not checked out horribledesigns.com, you got to go check it out, because some things are straight up great, like the American Muscle mouse pad. It's got some awesome pictures of great muscle cars if you're into cars, or you know somebody who's into muscle cars and they need some great mouse pad to have while they're on the computer working. But then they also have dumbass fucking t-shirts that say things like, "Are you staring at my ass?" with a picture of a donkey on it, or stickers that say, "Are you staring at my beaver?" with a picture of a beaver on it. Stuff like that, man. Completely ridiculous shirts and stickers, coffee mugs, everything like that. Anything that you could ever think about having just to get people's attention, make a statement out in public, and just completely be ridiculous, and to do it with some horrible designs at the exact same time. And like I said, I know the owner, so he hooked us up with a great deal where you can save right now by using the link below in the description. Whenever you go there and shop, you will not only support Music Making Sense podcast, but you also get a great deal on any and everything that you decide to purchase every time that you use that link right there in the description below. So make sure you go check that out right now, horribledesigns.com. Use the link below in order to get good savings. Go check it out. Buy some ridiculous shit for yourself or someone you know. All right, now let's get back to the show. So I don't know if it was just a hump day blues or whatever or something like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when I see stuff like that, man, I just like, bro, y'all gotta focus on what your brand actually is. And stop trying to stunt and stop beefing over dumb shit. Like, it was a little 50-person all-star weekend showcase. Like, it's not like it was headlining the Black Expo and the Indie Black Expo. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. It wasn't like a big fucking event in Indy. It wasn't like you were on the stage at motherfucking Pacers going to the fucking finals or something like that. Or the fucking Colts getting the Super Bowl. It wasn't a big deal. It was this little 50 or 100 person gathering. You know? Like, come on. Come on. Like, get above your own fucking nose. You know what I'm saying? Get beyond that shit. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when I see people popping off about all their streaming numbers and all the fans they got. And I'm like, well, for one, you couldn't pack out a fucking 200 capacity fucking building. And for two, you're beefing over some dumb shit with motherfuckers that live 3 hours away from you that weren't even there. Like, come on, man. You know. But anyway, sorry. It's kind of diverted on there, but it does have to do with your brand. So it's on topic. It's just a bitch session from Harkos, which happens sometimes. But yeah, no, 100%. I don't know if I can add anything else. I'm kind of like, yeah.
And I just like,
and that happens in any genre too. You've talked to me. You've talked about shit that's happened in the metal scene and stuff like that with that too. I mean, some of the beef was about different stuff, but sometimes it'll be territorial stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is the dumbest. Is territorial. Like, if it's a personal beef or if it's something like that, baby mama drama type of thing. Okay, whatever. I can kind of understand that. But if it's like territorial, like, come on, man. Like, we got the internet now. You don't have to literally fight for stage time in your city anymore as the only way to get it known. It's not necessary.
Yeah. I mean, you can travel, like, you know what I'm saying? You can go travel and you could build, it is. I mean, you could build a fan base online, and then you can just start like getting out there and travel and vlogging and doing things like that, and really just making it exciting. Like, I think it's way more exciting to get out here as a musician and start creating your, booking your own shows, even like creating your own shows where you like buy out a theater or rent out something and then you start doing shows there and stuff. Like, there's just so many great ways to get out here and build your fan base. I mean, look at Lil Russell. Lil Russell's doing it like the way he's doing it, and it's just really exciting because it's like so cool to see him get out in his city and rock the mic and just be shooting videos and got cats dancing and just creating really cool content that people are like really connecting with.
Yeah, because he's enjoying
that's
what he's doing, and he's showing that, and then that connects to the people as well too. And that's the thing too. Like, I know a producer who's getting ready to travel for a whole year, and he's already kind of got it booked out. So he's a producer, engineer, and stuff like that. So he's going to be going around. He's going to do a travel vlog. It's like a travel vlog mixed with him doing studio sessions and stuff like that all across the country. And so he's got like this whole route mapped out that he's getting ready to start here soon, starting at like South by Southwest, right? And it's right what you were just saying. You can get out and you can travel. You can have the vlog for it. And like, this dude is going to get so much traction just by going out and doing something that he wanted to do. He's going to be seeing the country, traveling, which is something he likes. And he's going to be making music with artists and stuff like that. He's got like a van. He's got like a little studio set up in his van. He's going, excuse me. And he's going to go around and record and mix and master people. And he's already got them like booked up and shit like that for like the whole year. And like, he's got like different connections that he has, like in Atlanta at one of the big studios and stuff. He knows a dude who's like, yeah, when you get here, come on in and we'll actually get in the big studio and blah, blah, blah. So like, it's like he's going on a world tour essentially within the United States, and going to have so much success and so much fun and so much enjoyment over it. These artists can do the same thing. Like, for instance, I'm not trying to go back to it too much, but these indie artists having this beef over this little thing. Well, in Fort Wayne, where they're beefing with people for no reason, there are shows every single weekend. I know a promoter who puts them on, where they're always looking for openers for mid to high level artists coming through town. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't doing that down in Indy like that, but they're doing it up in Fort Wayne.
It's like yesterday when we were doing our artist spotlight. Shout out to Royalty, and when I looked up and saw one festival that's going on there, right, and just hit her up like, hey, it's like in Ohio, So it's like, look, guys, there's a lot of them out there. Hell, I even applied when I was into my jazz mode. I even submitted my stuff to the Detroit Jazz Fest because I was like, man, I would love to go home and play some crazy free jazz for them, but I didn't get selected, which I understood. They were looking for more ensembles and stuff, so that's understandable.
Yeah, but that show
now they're getting into G. I mean, it would have totally been awesome, dude, to be able to
going back home to Detroit level. And doing the Detroit Jazz Fest. Like, that's a decent sized thing, man. For those of y'all not from in the Midwest area. This is a decent thing.
It's a lot of people go there, dude. Trust me. There are people who've traveled from near and far that's gone to the Detroit Jazz Festival because you got a lot of bands also that go there. That's from different parts of the world, man. And man, guys, like, it's just, you got, man, don't think that you can't find your audience. Like, for real, like, when you got the internet and just with the way the internet and everything works, man, you can truly build your brand. You can find your brand and just build it from there and just build around it. Like, and it's not, understand this. What branding is bits and pieces of who you are and what you do. And you go out there, when you put those together, you put that in a package and sell it. Right? And the reason I'm saying it like that, because you got to understand this too. There are people who are not going to like what you do.
Yep.
Bottom line, there are going to be people out there who aren't going to like what you do. So whatever you do, make sure that you are ready to deal with the criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be there. They're not going to like your product. There are people who are going to protest it, right? They're going to protest it. There are people who are going to probably want it burnt. They're going to ban. They're going to tell the world to ban it and everything else. I swear to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you put it out there anyway.
Yeah, because the same amount of fervor people are going to have against your stuff, you're going to have a bunch of people who are going to have that same fervor for your stuff. So if you take that negativity and you deflect it into positive shit, you know, you take all these people, you know, you use it as a fuel to help you put out more positivity and have more genuine connection with your fans, the ones that do like your stuff, it's all the better, man.
And let me say this too. You don't even have to be positive. Because I'm going to tell you right now, because these are, be real with y'all, I'm going to shoot from the hip with this bitch, dude.
Okay.
I am putting out satanic fucking metal. Do y'all understand me?
Right.
And you also brought up something we were talking about last night. We were at, Hark and I, we had a pretty private conversation. He said that he sees pain in me. And I'm going to let him know, and I'm letting the world know this. When I am in pain, that's when you see the best fucking art come out of me. Because I'm being honest. I'm stripping down every damn thing. And let me tell you, I am good. And when I strip down, I'm talking about me putting on the look that I'm going to have. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do have an image. And when I do wear that shit, it is because this is what I'm feeling. And I'm going to give you that very performance. Get ready for the true Black Hellion. Mm-hmm. And I mean just that. So yes, you may not be, you're going to say, okay, this nigga's going negative. Yes, I am. Because right. I am using that very darkness that I am going through, and I'm going to channel that goddamn shit, and it's going to make me fucking cash. Why? Because it's what I do. And I'm not trying to add on a bunch of shit. I'm not trying to do a bunch of extra shit. I'm doing the things that I know I need to do. Number one, have that fucking dark, insane image of the goddamn metal god who is the most evil son of a bitch in the world. It's there, dude. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this. Why? Because to add this, John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard. Y'all remember old Bo Duke from old Dukes of Hazzard, right? He recently, and this is why I also brought up about Beyonce, because he recently compared her music, her recent songs, to a dog marking its territory, pretty much pissing the market's territory. That's what he compared it to. And shout out to Miss Lainey Wilson. If you know who Miss Lainey Wilson is, man. Let me just say this, darling. Thank you for you saying what you said, because she said, come on home, girl. She's a goddamn, because she's saying it in a way like she said she's from Texas. So how could she not do country music? And also, Lainey said, this is a great time to be a country artist because you got people from all walks of life doing country now. And she's proud of that. And she's thick and booty ass white woman, yes, but she's a hell of a country artist. I'll say that. And ain't no but to it because she does have. But anyway, she is ain't no an amazing country artist. There is a but to it. Honey, she knows she got that vanilla milkshake. Let me talk to you. All right. But dude, she straight up, man, she straight up went to bat for her. And I'm like, hell yeah, so shout out to Lainey Wilson for that, man.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to what I was just saying, how with every negative, you're gonna have hella awesome positive that comes, of the people that love you. So, you can take it like you're taking it and using it for your fuel to create greatness that you're gonna be doing, KP, here soon. You can use the negativity as your power. Or like I like to do, or like some other people like to do, ignore the negative, focus on the positive, and then ride that positive. So it's completely your choice. It's all personality traits. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Absolutely. And KP knows how to focus it in the right ways, and so some people some of y'all may not know how to do that yet. So just do what's best for you personally. You know, KP is going to demolish shit with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also got my I got a return from Taxi that I got one of my instrumentals got returned because it was more of an underscore than it was a trailer. So that was my fault of not really. I guess I didn't pay attention to focus in it being a trailer. So that was my fault. But the cool thing they said is that I have really good horror. I write really good horror. I write great horror tracks.
Yeah, which is
they said I really got good. Yeah, good underscore. Yeah, great, really good underscores for horror. So I'm like,
that's one thing that's awesome.
And I didn't even thought about that.
Is that feedback. That's one thing I like about it. From what you've been telling me about it, is that feedback is raw. Because instead of them saying declined, try again, they actually like give you some feedback. So like what they told you is like, yo, this is great horror, but it's better for an underscore. We wanted a trailer for this particular thing, right? And so then you could take that same piece of work and actually apply it to one that's looking for a horror underscore, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Well, I could keep it because it's like, because the way it's mixed and everything, it was like it was mixed really good because I didn't get any marks on that. It was just that they said it was a straight up it was more of an underscore.
It was just like the wrong.
So I was like, so it did. Yeah. So the mix was good. So everything was spot on. So, but it was just, so I'm like, okay. It was like a
technicality
so
on the
keep that
job,
on there. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, I can still keep that in the files of my Taxi profile, and when they need an underscore, boom, bam, there's that baby right there.
Exactly, yeah, because they already gave you good marks on the quality of it and how it was great, blah blah blah. It just wasn't what this particular job was looking for. So when you sign the next one, boom, throw that one up in there, and then if they kick it back, you're like, okay, hold on, talk to me here. What's up? Because you just said it was fucking good. Now you're saying is that what's up? You know. But that's one thing that's great about Taxi. It has to go under for an
underscore.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, that's one thing about Taxi is that they'll tell you. You know, and so any of y'all who are interested in sync licensing and stuff like that, hit up KP. You can reach him on any of the Music Making Sense podcast stuff. Just send a message on there, musicmakingsensepod.com for everything Music Making Sense Pod, all the links to socials, streaming platforms, anything like that. Put a message down there, and we both check it, different things for different ones and everything like that. But anytime you want to ask a question to KP about sync licensing, feel free. He'll help you out and everything like that. If I get the message, I'll forward it over to him, everything like that. So, that's one of the key things about, you've been listening to the podcast. I've been seeing the numbers grow. That first episode, the part 1 that we did about with the Windy Day breakdown from that Windy Day video, it had a really, really good response across almost all platforms that it was on. It was one of the best streamed ones that we've had so far. So that might have been some of the title, but I think the content was really, really on point with that as well too. So
absolutely.
So every one of y'all who are tuning in, because I've been seeing regular listeners keep adding on. Every single one of y'all.
Thank you guys.
Look, go back and listen to the previous episodes as well too. But for those of y'all who haven't yet, if you ever thought about getting into sync licensing, which is like movie and video games, TV commercials, all that kind of stuff, placements for your musical compositions of any kind, hit up KP on any of the socials. Go to musicmakingsensepod.com. Go to musicmakingsensepod.com for all the socials, all the other streaming platforms. Maybe you're, watching on YouTube. You really rather have the Spotify instead, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Go there, but you can, on the website, you can drop a message right there in the chat and get in touch with us. If you want to know more about sync licensing and stuff, talk to KP. All right, because he went to the Taxi conference. He's been working deep in it. And, everybody has their own things that they focus on that they're good at. Like for me, for instance, I focus a lot on internet-based creation of content and branding and growing in that realm of the marketing. Where I lack is focusing on like all the business technicals and stuff like that. I don't focus on that stuff whenever I'm working with artists. So, right. but then also too, I I've never even dabbled with sync licensing. I've done a little bit of it by like, doing hooks for people and stuff like that technically, but like nothing like what KP does. So if you're ever interested in that, if you're more into metal or rock or anything like that, any of that kind of stuff, KP is an awesome resource for that information. On previous episodes, he's went in more depth, like he did here today, talking about that side of things. But you just need to go check out previous episodes. Keep tuning in. Every single week, we build on the weeks prior with information. We don't just come out of blue. It's not, drive-by fire type of shit. We're building on different things. We reference previous episodes. So make sure y'all go check all that out. And keep tuning back in here every single week. We're going to start having more artist spotlights, which is really, really dope. Yeah. Where we sit down, we talk to artists and stuff like that. And, and just talk to them, get them to actually be able to be like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about, everything like that. Since we are a music marketing podcast and, music marketing is, our thing, we have a music marketing bend with it. We talk about different marketing angles that we think they could take and talk about stuff like that. So if you're an artist, I mean, it's damn near a consultation with me and KP is what the spotlights are. It's where you can promote yourself, but it's also a little consultation as well. Drop something in the socials, drop something in, musicmakingsense.pod.com, hit us up and we'll get you popped on with another one. So just keep tuning on in here and get ready for the darkness provided to you by KP. As soon as he gets all his, it wouldn't be ducks, it'd be bats in a row. I think of some darkness animals, right? Not ducks, or bats. As soon as he gets all of his bats in a row.
Demons in a row.
Yeah, the demons and the bats and the fucking goblins in a row. Yeah, as soon as he gets all that shit in a row, then he will be, we will drop links and everything like that in there too for you. So until next time, anything else, KP?
You know who we are powered. You know who
powered by Riverside.
Powered by Riverside FM.
All right, we'll see y'all on the next episode. Cue the crazy music.
You know it.
This is the only dancing I do. It's just a head bob and shit. I'm moving my shoulders and my hips just a little bit, though. Only a little bit. Now you gotta move the neck, KP. The neck.
I gotta follow you.
You gotta do the neck, KP. You gotta do the neck. I'm moving the neck.
I did.
No, you had a stiff neck on that shit. Like you swallowed a Viagra. There you go. Yeah, you gotta move the neck. You gotta get the fucking. You gotta get the weeble wobble like you're an alien and shit. Like look, I look like I'm an alien with my neck all stretched out and shit.
You long neck ass.
Exactly.
We out, y'all.
See ya.
Holla.